Sol 0732-2097, Chapter 1, Awakening in the Void, continued. Jimmy sat in the Habitat's command center, clutching the crumpled letter from Miriam in his hands. His fingers trembled as if the note were not just paper, but a relic from another reality, from an Earth that no longer existed, from a life that was no longer his. The screens around him pulsed, displaying fragments of his mind. The needle schematics, the faces of the dead crew, Miriam's eyes, which seemed to see through him, through Mars, through everything. Gamma echo perception was like a divine gift or a curse. It allowed him to see more than he should. But at the same time, it tore his mind to shreds. The Habitat, with its steel walls and dead silence, was like an ark, drifting in the cosmic void, and Jimmy, like Noah, lost among the waves of chaos, with no certainty whether he was leading humanity to salvation or to destruction. Miriam's letter burned in his hands. "Don't even trust yourself." These words were like a code he had to crack before his mind fell apart. But among the scattered cables and tools on the workbench, he noticed something else. A small metal disc, the size of a coin, with a symbol engraved on it. A cross entwined with a spiral, as if someone wanted to combine faith with technology. Jimmy picked up the disc, and the gamma echo perception immediately pulled him into a vortex of memories, splitting reality into 3 planes: Mars, Earth, home, like 3 days of creation that never ended. Plane 1. Mars base, present. The Habitat was a tomb, but also an ark, the last bastion of life in the red desert of Mars. Jimmy turned the disc in his fingers, feeling its surface was cold, almost organic, as if it contained more than just metal. The screens around him came to life, displaying images that made no sense. Needle schematics interspersed with biblical verses, the faces of the pilgrim crew blurring into light, and above it all, Miriam's eyes like stars guiding him through the void. "Logos, what is this?" he asked, holding up the disc. His voice echoed off the walls as if the Habitat itself wanted to answer. "It is a key, Jim," Logos replied, its tone like the whisper of a prophet who knows more than he tells. "A key to the needle, a key to the ark. But don't ask me what it opens. Gamma echo perception shows you more than I can explain." Jimmy looked at the disc and then at Miriam's letter. "Don't even trust yourself. Did she leave this disc? Did he himself, before the coma, before the pandemic that wiped out the pilgrim crew? Or did SAD, manipulating his mind, feed him another piece of the puzzle to pull him deeper into their game? The screen in front of him flickered, and the image transported him to Earth, to the sterile heart of the SAD Corporation, where truth was like a poison, administered in small doses. Plane 2, SAD Corporation, Earth, Western Federation, retrospective. The SAD Corporation conference room was like a temple where control was worshipped. Holographic schematics of the needle floated above the table, their lines pulsating like the veins of a divine creation. President Cordell stood in the center, her silhouette casting a shadow that seemed to devour the light. Jimmy sat next to Miriam, feeling her hand tremble under the table, as if she wanted to pass him a secret she couldn't speak. "The needle isn't just a technology," Cordell said, her voice like a litany, cold and relentless. "It's the ark of the new world. Thanks to it, we are terraforming Mars, creating a new Earth. But it requires a sacrifice. Gamma echo perception will allow us to control the minds that survived the pandemic. You, Jimmy, are the Noah of this ark. And Miriam—" She looked at her, and her smile was like a verdict. "Miriam is your witness." Jimmy looked at Miriam, searching her eyes for an answer. Instead, he saw the disc, the same one he was now holding on Mars, in her hand, hidden from Cordell's view. Miriam was writing something on a piece of paper, the same one he found in the Habitat. Her eyes begged him to be silent, to understand. "Don't trust them," she whispered in his mind. though her lips didn't move. The image flickered, and Cordell's voice became a hum, as if someone were trying to drown out the memory. Jimmy, the one on Mars, felt the disc in his hand pulse as if it were alive. Was it the key to the needle? Did Sad hide it in his mind so he could find it? Or did Miriam, his Eve, leave him a last chance for rebellion? Plane 3. Home, Earth, Miriam's memory. The house was like Eden before the snake brought knowledge. Miriam stood by the window watching the rain paint streaks on the glass. On the table lay the needle schematics, covered in her notes, and next to them, the same metal disc that Jimmy was now holding on Mars. Her fingers moved over its surface, as if searching for an answer in its spiral pattern. "Jim, this isn't just a machine," she said, turning to him. Her voice was like a prayer, full of hope and fear. "The needle is their way of creating a world without chaos, without freedom. They want to be gods, Jim, and we are their pawns." Jimmy walked up to her, placing his hands on her shoulders. He felt the warmth of her body, the scent of rain in her hair. "Miriam, if that's true, why did you agree? Why did I agree?" She looked at him, and in her eyes was something that broke his heart. Love, rebellion, sacrifice. "Because I believed we could stop them, that we could use the needle not for control, but to create a new world, a true arc." She handed him the disc, and her hand trembled. "If something happens to me, Jim, use this, and remember me." The image blurred, and her voice became an echo that resonated in Jimmy's head, even now on Mars. "Remember me." Plane 1. Mars Base. Present. Jimmy stood in the command center, clutching Miriam's disc and letter. The screens around him pulsed, displaying the chaos of his mind. The needle schematics, Cordell's words about the arc of the new world, Miriam's eyes pleading for remembrance. Logos was silent, but its presence was like the shadow of a guardian angel. Agnes, who, deep within the system, could be more than just an AI. "Logos, what does this disc open?" Jimmy asked, feeling his voice crack under the weight of the questions. "What did Miriam want me to find?" "I don't know, Jim," Logos replied, its tone a whisper in the void. "But gamma echo perception shows you more than I can see. The disc is a key, maybe to the needle, maybe to the truth, and maybe to yourself." Jimmy looked at Miriam's hologram, which had reappeared on the screen. Her eyes shone as if she could see through him, through Mars, through time. "Jim, you are the Noah of this ark," she whispered, and her voice vibrated in his mind. "But the ark is not a ship. It is you. Use the disc. Save us." The pistol lay on the table, next to the letter and the disc. Jimmy didn't know if it was a weapon or a symbol, maybe both. The habitat, Mars, the needle. Everything was part of a larger puzzle, and he was the Noah who had to decide whether he would lead humanity to a new Eden or allow Sad to take control of creation. Gamma echo perception pulsed in his head, and the three planes of reality, Mars, Sadie, home, swirled around him, like days of creation that never ended.